Hey guys, welcome back to Susie on the Farm. I'm Susie if you're new here, and I love to go thrift store shopping. I like to find items that need a makeover, bring them back here to my vintage store. I'll show you guys how I make them over and sell them in my store. In today's video, I have 3 thrift flip projects featuring the new DIY colors and new Connie Lines and Designs rice papers. So let's go ahead and get started with today's projects. So I just picked these up at the thrift store yesterday. They are, I guess they're ceramic. I paid $1.99 each for them, and they are perfect for decoupaging. And I am also going to be using 3 of the new DIY paints. I'm finally getting around to trying them. So let's go ahead and get going painting these. For the first one, I am going to use Blood Moon. I do have a very limited supply on the website of these colors. Look at that. And I have another order in already. So this one is like a really pretty deep purple. Ooh, very good coverage. It's going to look really good on all of these details. DIY paint is a clay-based paint, and it is heavily pigmented, so you get great coverage, and it will stick to just about anything. I may have to do 2 coats on this just to make sure that I am getting all those details covered. I'm not worried about getting in the center there because I am going to decoupage that. For this second one, I am going to be painting it Flirtatious, which is a fun pink color. Hot pink. Off camera, I will also be painting up the back of these to make them look really finished. Finally, the last one is going to be Eden. This is a deep green color. We all know green is my favorite. There's another green in the release too called Electrify that I won't be using in this project, but I will definitely try to use soon. Look how pretty that is. That would be a great Christmas green too. Okay, they're all painted, and before we start finishing them up, for some reason they all have a hole in the ceramic or 2. So before I paint the middle of those white, because I am going to decoupage in there, and because there's not anything going to be covering the decoupage paper like glass or anything, I do want to fill in those holes. So I'm just going to use a little bit of air dry clay to fill that hole in. It won't take it long to dry. It's not a very big hole. We can actually paint it before it's dry. I just didn't want the decoupage paper to get torn because of that hole. All right, I let that dry for a few minutes, and then I'm just going to come in. I'm just going to use some Fusion White because I had it right here. And I'm going to fill all these centers in. Doesn't have to be perfect. It is going to have decoupage paper over it. But I do want the colors in the decoupage paper to really pop. did we get some new DIY paint colors. Connie with the Painted Photographer also drew us a bonus winter release. So I have picked 3 of the new papers that I already have loaded up on the website. Connie's papers come in different sizes, and one of them is this multiple, which has a 5x7 and 2 3x5s, and these are my favorite because you get 3 projects for 1 piece of rice paper. So I am going to decoupage all of these in the center, and then this one is almost, I don't know if she already had this paint, but I feel like there is some of this, I forget, flirtatious in there, but we may add a little bit. For this one, also it has some green in it, but I'm going to add some of the Eden in with it. And for this one, I'm going to do some Blood Moon on the snowman to make them all tie in together. So I'm just going to use my finger to score where I'm going to cut. There's a really great indentation there, so it'll be really easy to tell where my cut line is, because I won't be able to sand off edges with this the way it is, and I'll have to go touch up because I was a little sloppy with the white paint. All right, so now we've got that to where it fits just right in there. I'm going to use the Fusion Decoupage and Transfer Gel to adhere it down. And rice paper is very easy to decoupage with. I'm not even going to bother doing like a starter strip because this paper is kind of thicker. So it's much easier just to lay it down. You don't have to worry about wrinkles. I'm going to wet the back of my paper. Line it up just right. Push it in. Let's see, I got a little off there. There we go. And then I'm just going to use my brush to push it down and put another layer of my medium on it. Just a little bit of that Blood Moon here into the snowman's necktie and hat. I don't want to mess with Connie's images too much because she is the artist and I am not, as you can see, but I do want this to blend really well with that frame. I decided to leave the other 2 as they are. They were close enough and looked really great. So I just add a little Blood Moon into this one, and then to embellish these, I am actually going to use the dry brush method. This is one of my favorites, and I'm just using some white Fusion paint. I offload a lot of the paint onto that paper towel to the right there, and then I just lightly brush over the top, and the white paint sticks on all the raised parts and creates this really cool effect, and it's one of my favorite ways to embellish projects just like this. after the paint is dry, these do need to be sealed because I painted them with a chalk paint. So I'm using just a little bit of Big Top. And whenever you are sealing something that has a lot of these deep crevices and stuff like this, you will have it pool up, I guess you could say, and I just use my brush to go over any of the pooled areas and make sure everything's flat and there's no drips or runs or anything. It takes a very little bit of this. It doesn't take much at all, but I got them all sealed up and I am in love with these. They do have a hanger on the back, and I think that I'm going to sell them all together because they're just so sweet together. I hope y'all have enjoyed this project, and we'll be getting on to the next one now. For my next project is another recent thrifted find. I didn't even get all of these put up. I just decided to pick 3 of a recent thrift haul. And this is a metal, galvanized tin metal hanging pocket. And I always pick these up when I find them. I think I paid $2.99 for this one. And I'm going to use electrified on this one. This is the other green. It's really bold, but really extremely beautiful. So I'm just going to take the outside and I am going to do 2 coats of paint. I'm going in one direction on with my brush here just to not have a lot of different brush strokes, but it really doesn't matter. The DIY paint is kind of thick anyway, so brush strokes are just part of it, and they actually bring the appeal of it. Once I get this all painted, I am going to go ahead and seal it because I'm going to put a transfer on this, and I don't want the transfer to pull up the paint because it's not going to have, 30 days to really cure really good. But I'm going to go ahead and seal it in, and I'm going to let the sealer dry overnight. To seal it, I'm again using Big Top, and I'm just doing 1 even coat all over the whole thing. And I am going to let that dry really well. You don't have to do overnight, at least a couple hours though, because I promise if you don't let your sealer dry, you will pull up the paint. For the transfers for this project, I picked these out of the Kitschy Christmas, I believe they are. I get that one and the Yuletide mixed up. A lot of the transfers kind of have similar color schemes. But this garland, I wanted to put 2 garlands to kind of frame it in, and then I have the sweet little rabbits there in the wreath that I'm going to add in the center. And it didn't have any of this bright green color in it, but because of the kitschy feel of it, I feel like they went really great together. So if you've never used an IOD transfer before, they're really easy. They come with this little plastic tool, and you can see there that I have some blue painter's tape on mine because I'm always losing it. It's clear. So I lose them from time to time, but I found if I put that blue tape on there, I can always find my tool or one of the hundreds of ones that I have around. So you lay your, you peel off the white backing, and then you lay your transfer down, and then you just gently rub until the image releases onto your project. And if you lift and pull as you go, you can tell when it's releasing, and then you'll want to burnish it once you get it on there. For that, I just use my hand here, but you can also use that plastic backing. The transfers do also need to be sealed, and I also wanted to tone down the green just a tad. It's beautiful, but it's a bit bright. So for sealing the transfers and toning down the green, I am going to use some DIY white wax. I'm just going to put it all over the whole thing, let it sit for just a minute, and then I'll wipe any excess back with a paper towel, and that's done. This project is done. I put a tree in this one. You could do some floral, or a bottle brush tree would be pretty. Anything really. I love how this one turned out, and I hope you guys did too. Today I am going to be using Walk on Water, which is this beautiful dark, I don't know, bluish color, turquoise, really pretty. And I picked up this polar bear. I thought he was pretty cute as is, but I didn't like the sheen of him, so I'm going to give him a texture paint. And to do that, I'm going to mix just a little bit of the Walk on Water with some Fresco powder. This is a fusion product that is available on my website, but you could also use salt wash or even just some baking powder. Works really well for texturizing paint. And I'm just going to paint it on him. On the first coat, I'm kind of just going to put it on, and then the second coat, I'm going to kind of dab my paintbrush to cause a lot of texture. And here he is all painted up, and you can see all the beautiful texture on him. We do need to seal this paint, and for that I am going to use, again, Big Top. I'm just going to do one even layer of Big Top and let it dry completely. Big Top does have a little bit of a sheen to it, and I also did want to use a wax on this just because we did create all that beautiful texture and I want it highlighted. So for that, I again am going to use the white wax and just put it all over the little bear and then wipe it back with a paper towel, and that white wax will lighten up this paint a whole lot because it stays in all of those textured spots, and there's quite a few of them here. Because I did put the Big Top on first, I'm able to wipe a lot of it back, but I really just love this effect. We used to do this all the time, everybody did, and then, you know, we kind of got away from it, and I don't know why, because it sells and it works. Anytime I paint an animal, I have to put their eyes back on. It bothers me if I can't see their eyes, so I dotted his eyes with just a tad of white paint, and he's done. These paint colors are so fun, and I've had a great time doing all of these projects. I hope that you all have enjoyed them. Don't forget, if you want to do your own, the products are available at susieonthefarm.com. All the rice papers, the paint, the accessories, everything that you need to create your own stunning thrift flip projects. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. I'll see you again next Wednesday. And happy Thanksgiving.